All right. Right now, here's another pair I'm looking at to enter. I'm just waiting for a certain confirmation. So the pair I'm looking at is EurUsd. If I do my support and resistance, I'm going to see that it's, if you look in terms of weekly support, it's on the weekly support line or close, right? It's already in. It's inside my weekly support. I mean, my weekly resistance. Sorry, I always get mixed up, but you know what I mean. It's in my weekly resistance zone, right? That's my zone right there, right? So this would be a shorter trade because I see a yeah, it could be a shorter trade because I see here a daily divergence. No, H1 divergence, right? So you could define the zone around that area, right? If you look in terms of monthly, that would be defined as a monthly. So this would be a monthly resistance. So you see it entered, right? So me personally, I would wait for it to enter that zone, right? Get over that price. And once it's over that price, I would enter, right? Now, I would enter as a sell, right? So it's pretty a good area right there. You look for it, you look for your confirmation to enter. So if there's an hammer at an H1 level, M30 level, right? That's where you would enter, right? If it plays against you and doesn't go in that area, if you want to enter, I would wait for the H1 trend line to be broken. So you break the H1 trend line, and then you could enter, right? So now the profit target would be, good question, my friend, would be at first that daily support. That would be where I would take my first profit, part of my profits, because that's not a long-term trade, depending on how it breaks the trend line. So I would take profits around that price. Right? You can take profits around that price. If you enter here, you take partial of your profits. And then if you want to take big part of your profits or go deeper or longer, you could wait until it goes to that price area, or you take another part of your profits. Taking part of your profits here would be interesting too. But I would trade it as an H1 trade. So that would be, you can take part of your profits here, part of your profits here, part of your profits here, right? If you trade them in terms of daily, I would wait for it to, once it goes down around those prices, go you take part of your profits. I would wait for it to go back up and now do a H4 divergence, re-enter, and take the sell. But for right now, if you want to trade it as a H1, wait for it till it enter that area. You take the short-term trades where you can get target maybe 100 pips, 150, 200 pips. So if you want to trade it for 100 pips, 50 pips, let's say, you want to take 50 pips out of market, that would be the perfect trade. You enter, you take 50 pips, you out. And then if you want to go for longer pips, after you take those 50 pips, 100 pips, whatever, it goes back up. Now you re-enter. If you know that it keeps going down and going down and going down, you would wait for it to break the daily trend line, right? So once it breaks the daily trend line, you know that that's for a longer term trade. If you have it entered after the daily trend line that has been broken, now you could enter that trade and consider taking partial of your profits around that area and that area. So that would be in a longer term trade or a swing. You want to do a quick trade, H1, once you enter that zone, take your profits. After you take your 50 pips, 100 pips, or maximum 200 pips profits, depending on how it goes, right? And then once it rebounces and retests, if it does retest, you wait for it to enter that monthly resistance. And once it re-enters that monthly resistance, you wait for an H4 confirmation, an H4 hammer, or, mostly I like hammers, but if it doesn't do a hammer, you wait for your other type of confirmation to re-enter at an H4 or a daily level. And then you know that once it breaks the trend line, that's a long-term trade that you could take. All right? Thank you.